Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today I'm going to show you how to become a better carry player. This was a game where I absolutely popped off on a PL. It's a very good PL game. We have a good matchup against Furion, good matchup against Undying, solid against Rubik, good against Viper, okay against Gyrocopter. I would say overall favorable against Gyrocopter. So literally I have the god PL game, but at the end of the day you still gotta, get your farm up and hit your timings, because what a lot of people do wrong is they don't understand how to get out of the laning stage with a hero like PL and then really hit their timings, focus on the timings and hit the timings as fast as possible. Because the reality is, even if it's a really good PL game, I mean, first of all, I was laning against Viper, which is not good for PL. You might be like, oh, but Speed, you can dispel poison attack. It's like, great, on a 19-second cooldown, I can dispel a 0-second cooldown spell. That's definitely gonna win me the lane. Either way, the point is that we had a very hard lane. My Ogre was feeding like crazy, but it doesn't matter. We hit our timing, snowballed the game, bought a Midas, which I'll talk about why. And yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna show you guys how to make this work. Also, I want to tell you guys that if you've been struggling with solo queue and you're looking to get to the next rank, I'm going to be able to help you. Like, literally, with the Game Leap website, I'm going to give you guys guides that are going to make it unbelievably clear on what you need to do. So if you've been stuck in the solo queue grind, you don't know what to do, and you want to become absolutely broken, but like actually you want to become much better at Dota, and you want to take it more seriously, the Game Leap website is going to help you do that. So click the link down below. I'm going to help you get to the next rank, and I'll see you there. Alright, so getting into the laning stage, a couple things to note. General items, I go very greedy on my items, and I mean it. I really go extremely greedy on my items. But either way, main thing I'm going to have to look to do in this lane is just pull a ton of aggro from max range when the enemy specifically can't hit me. So you'll notice that the way you do this is you play the tree line. The average carry player is kind of just walking around and isn't really aware of their surroundings. For instance here, what a lot of people would do is nothing. They would do nothing. They would stand still and wait for the lane to push. The reason why that's not good is there's a good chance, well, the lane would then connect here, right? If I don't take the initiative and pull aggro here, which I'm gonna do, right? If I don't take the initiative, even though I didn't get the full wave, the next wave would meet where, guys? Like here. Can I lane here? Can I lane here? Yes or no? Can I lane here? No! Against good players, which by the way, this is Moon Meander. This guy came in second place in a major recently, and a rank 300 player. I'm not gonna be able to lane here as Phantom Lancer. This hero has no movement speed and low armor, relatively low armor for like a lot of edgy heroes. So I can't lane there. But if I pull the lane back 8 times in a row, then I can actually get the occasional CS. You see how that works? Because I pulled it back and ran with the creep, I can actually get a couple CS. I'm gonna look for another aggro here. I didn't want to actually tank this one. I probably could have let it kill my range creep. I guess I do. I look for the Spirit Lance, but they double deny. Well played on their part. And now the lane is actually playable. The wave also doubles up a little bit here. They killed off their rage creep pretty early. They made, I would argue, a bit of a mistake there. And because the wave is doubled up, and Viper's only level 1 at this point, I feel pretty comfortable to go for a creep aggro and once again look to get back the lane. But yeah, at this point, I pulled it even again here. I just can't really trade here. Like, yeah, they're extending, but the reality is I still can't really trade. Even hitting Rubik here was probably a mistake. It went okay. Like, I caught up to him eventually and hit him with a good lance, but I'm looking to just once again keep the lane back. I even avoided the Fade Bolt damage there, which was pretty key. And this is the last example I'm going to give for the laning stage, but basically the lane is going to be a rinse repeat of this concept over and over again. I max range pull creep aggro onto my range creep, Viper steps back up, so I pull again. If I just waited for the range creep to die and try to contest it, I'm literally going to get fully kicked out of lane. Instead, because I pull the aggro early, I'm able to get 2 CS in the lane, which is frankly a win in a situation like this. It's like super a win, because once again I can do it again, and yeah, this is what it takes to be a top level carry player. I know it seems really simple, and kind of the idea is, but it's just being about really good at pulling it from max range so that you avoid every single auto possible, because these players put crazy pressure on you. This Rubik's beating the crap out of me. My Ogre is literally walking back to lane because he died without a TP. This lane couldn't be any worse, but I have 10 CS, which is actually 2 higher than the Viper, just based off this mechanic and some good last hitting. So fortunately, my lane eventually got ganked. I ended up surviving the lane with 34 CS in 7 minutes and 40 seconds with no deaths and no kills, which is pretty freaking optimal. From there, we hit level 6, and I'm going to skip ahead a little bit at some point soon, but all I'm looking to do here is just identify if I can lane or not. right? And I feel like at this point, I just can't. Even though I am a level above the Viper, he's still just a level 5 Viper with 3 points poison attack and 3 points corrosive skin. He's not going to farm very quickly. He can't even farm the large camp with no nether toxin. Even with 1 point of nether toxin, it's pretty hard because it got nerfed. And so I understand, okay, this guy's not really going to get anything out of lane. He's not even going to take my tower. There's no cart. And so I don't really need to worry about him, but I also don't really want to contest him because it's just going to be a weird waste of time. And so I full jungle. And you don't really want to have to do this as the carry, but the reality is PL's PL and Viper's Viper. And even though you theoretically counter him, it doesn't really play out like that. And as a result, I just make the safe play and go from camp to camp. I did consider going to my triangle here, which maybe I could have done, but I saw that the Viper left the bottom side of the map like kind of a noob. I'm not gonna lie. I know this sounds crazy, guys, but like that's the type of play that can make this guy rank 300 instead of rank 100, like that type of thing. I don't want to get into that right now. That's like a whole another video. But the point is that he leaves the bottom side of the map open, and PL desperately wants lane creeps, right? I really want lane creeps, and he comes back to lane, but I'm able to clear up 3 of the lane creeps. And it didn't really take away from my farm. Like I didn't really lose many jungle camps either, as I was able to clear that one before the minute mark. And all of a sudden we're level 8.5 with 73 CS, 11 minutes in, and our net worth is looking pretty good. Considering I was 700 gold down on the Viper very early on, we're now even with him, which is fantastic. And I went Midas this game. The reason why I went Midas was I felt that I could have gone Diffusal. Like it's a reasonable Diffusal game, and keep in mind, I could have went Diffusal and I think it would have been fine. The reason why I think Diffusal is fine is if I catch the Prophet alone, I can solo kill him. If I catch Viper alone, I can solo kill him. If I catch Gyro alone, that one's a little bit awkward. But Undying, Rubik, I could probably kill all these heroes. And so I think it was a reasonable game for me to consider Diffusal. But I looked at my heroes and I felt that it would be very hard for us to fight in the early game, especially knowing that my Enigma lost his lane pretty hard. He had a very hard lane against the Gyro, so he didn't get off to the greatest of starts. So I felt that the game would be a little bit hard to skirmish, but I still could have played that way, and I want you guys to understand that as long as you have like a clear reason and game plan behind the item you're buying, I think most items are fine. Like I could get into a whole video about Midas. BSJ has a solid video on that. So you could like really try to get into when exactly to buy these items, but it's kind of the least important part about being good. I'm gonna keep it real. The more important part is, are you playing around your item? Like with this Midas, I'm not gonna run at Viper here, right? I'm gonna clear the mid wave, farm up this stack, avoid taking damage. I'm gonna constantly use my Phantom Rush off cooldown, be very efficient, take the Ancients. Once again, be very efficient. Got really lucky on the spawns here. Both of these Ancient camps are the camps that PL likes to farm because they don't do any AoE damage. I got so freaking lucky. I was like, bless the gods. Bless the gods. But yeah, we're just playing to avoid the enemy team. And that was my game plan. I'm like, I have a god timing this game. On my Manta, I'm extremely, extremely strong. I'm completely unkillable. And so I felt that with Manta, I could take pretty dangerous farm on the map too. The Midas Manta is extremely high DPS against creeps. And that sounds like a meme. It's like, a high DPS against creeps? Like, are you serious, Speed? Really? Does that matter? Yes, it absolutely matters. The faster I can push out the lanes, the quicker I can bait the response from the enemy, and just simply the faster I can farm. I even could have probably taken the mid tower there. That was actually definitely a mistake. There was no ancient. That was super low skill. I should have taken mid tower. It ends up even getting denied, so that's a bit sad. That was a mistake on my part, big mistake. Lose quite a bit of efficiency, but I clear midway. Look how fast I clear it. I clear it so fast that I can then get back to the ancient camp, and the wave is pushing into their tier 2. So my fast response is gonna force this Prophet to show mid, so we know where Prophet is now. We can feel comfortable about his positioning. I can then go to the ancient camp, clear that up, and I was looking to actually push out on the map on my Manta timing, so I'm not doing it yet, right? PL is not a hero that split pushes side lanes well, and the reason why I'm playing mid is because my team isn't taking an area of the map. I would be happy to play bottom or push in the top side. It would even probably be a little bit better for my overall farm if I could farm this, but my team's kind of playing this area. So instead I'm gonna adapt to that and farm this rotation, right? The optimal farm for basically every illusion hero is tri-camp plus the lane above or below, depending on what side you're on, but I did have to adapt, take slightly less optimal farm, but it's really not the end of the world here. Also at this point now I have my Manta, and with Manta you wanna look to get out lanes. You don't just want to jungle with Manta. When you get it, you immediately want to use it to shove the creep waves. I even pinged my Manta. I was like mad at my Urshik. He's just, I don't know. Like, you might be like, oh, let him get his Blink Dagger speed. He has a Blink Dagger. I mean, to be fair, he's close to shards, so I guess it's fine that he shoves the wave, but I was just like, I don't know, man. I was like, He's like shoving the mid wave when I'm right next to it. But either way, you can see I don't want to show on the mid wave because I can die. This guy has an orchid. This guy has lift. Whoa, this Rubik has bots Aether, huh? That's crazy. That's a crazy build. Either way, let's not focus on that too much. We're still farming away. Now, I did look to connect to this fight. Once I decided it wasn't much of a fight, I'm going to head back mid. I sent my Mantis at the tome. I wanted to potentially kill it off and get the gold. But we're going to look to get back to mid after that. Unfortunately, didn't find it. Definitely an inefficient route. You almost always want to use your Mantis just to clear the wave, not to do what I did there. So maybe a bit of a mistake. So I decided to go back for Diffusal this game, which honestly I would argue is potentially bad, but I felt that on my Manta plus level 15 timing, I could get active. The level 15 timing on Peel is 15 strength. You become very, very tanky. And so I definitely felt that, yeah, this is the time in the game where I could get active and get out on the map. I will admit, even here, I probably definitely was way too passive. It's kind of my issue, especially as a carry player. I play like, I don't know, I kind of just play to like giga hit timings. But the issue with this is obviously if your team gets run at, it can be a problem. My Enigma was dead here, so I didn't think we were going to take an engagement. So I didn't really feel too bad about TPing bottom. My team went for a rune and died, so I don't really think that's on me. I think my Enigma got tilted. I didn't follow him for a smoke play. Like I made a big mistake this game earlier on where we black holed the gyro and I should have been there, but I wasn't. So I made a huge mistake and I think this guy got really tilted. But as a carry player, you can't let it get to you. Like, the reality is you're going to make mistakes, right? This Enigma had a bad game. He had a bad lane. He didn't have a lot of space on the map. Like, I understand why he's on edge, but the reality is people are going to get mad even when you're playing fine. And so you just can't get baited too hard by it. Like, I know my timing in this game. I know for a fact that on my Scotty, I'm 1v9ing, right? You know, I know that's my timing. They literally have 3 ranged cores, and Scotty counters ranged heroes. I know my place in this game, right? I know my timing. So my team gets run at bottom here, and I'm looking like I'm considering if they extend really hard, they commit so hard, I will TP. But my Bat Rider's low. We don't have Black Hole, so I make the really disciplined play of staying top here. And this is what I mean. I could have been like, oh, my Enigma's tilted. He's going to get so mad if I don't TP. He's going to be so angry. My team's fighting. My Bat popped his BKB. They're getting run down. Oh my gosh, we're going to get run over. But I don't. I make the disciplined play. I say I know my timing, right? I understand that, okay, this is just not a good fight. We don't have Black Hole, right? The enemy team's pretty strong. Viper's strong at this point of the game. Furion's strong at this point of the game. So instead I wait. My team makes a great play and kills the I don't actually even know how they kill it. I guess I just Black Hole him. Yeah, I think the Furion just overextends. Yeah, Furion makes a psycho play. This is Furion just being on some crack. I don't know. All right, Furion makes a crack play. What can you do? And we punish it though, right? I'm like, okay, I don't know what happened to Furion. I didn't see it. I'm like, I don't know what happened, but I know that they're dead, and I know I can get an easy backstab. So I don't know how did my Doppel go to the left? Well, it doesn't matter. My Doppel went to the left. I meant to kill the Rubik, but actually kind of worked out. As we go on the Viper and the Undying here and get a nice cheeky little double kill. Easy, and all of a sudden we're extremely close to our Scotty. Midas back up as well. A little bit of a passive Midas there. What do they call it? The Pitus. A little bit of a Pitus action going on, but doesn't matter too much. We're going to clear that up. Send our Mantis to mid, back to the Ancient Camp. And now that we have Scotty, we're ready to 1v9. And I'm going to look to force here. I did consider farming level 20 making any play, but yeah, I think at this point I wanted to get my 20. I started hitting road. I guess I could have farmed 20, but with Undying being dead and me having my Scotty timing, I want to force the engagement, right? I want to bait the enemy team to fight me. Oh yeah, okay, so the Roche wasn't getting completed. My Enigma with the Vlads wasn't in the area, so unfortunately we just slow it down a bit. Find the Undying here, get it 20. Shout out to the XP bag that was giant Dota. But either way, now we have our Scotty timing. And this is what I mean, like, it's just about, it's discipline. If I made a couple of bad TPs this game, or I missed the bottom TP, I wouldn't have Scotty here, right? I wouldn't have this really, really early Scotty timing. Like, I'm so freaking farm. I mean, this Gyro is also huge, but to be fair, he has like more kills than me. And his hero also farms stupid fast. Like, Mjolnir Axe Gyro shreds farm, right? But I know I outcarry this guy. Like, it's a Gyrocopter. It's a strong hero, but it doesn't have the impact that my hero does. And he gets his BKB off, so I'm not doing diffusal damage. So I'm just like, okay, I don't need to kill him. Really nice lasso from the Bat Rider to put him up onto the high ground. And at this point, I hit a really nice illusion bait onto the Viper. They all thought I was actually on the Viper, but I wasn't. So I shift over onto the Furion. He gets his Shadow Blade off, bit unfortunate. But I quickly adjust. I'm like, okay, whatever. Take out the Rubik. Nice little kill. Onto the Gyrocopter. And yeah, the enemy team just can't touch me. They don't have any clear. They can't figure out which one's real. And now we get a triple kill, and yeah, that's all. Psych! We're on to the high ground, boys. Yeah, buddy. We get the Undying, we chase on to the Viper. That is a rampage on the Scotty timing. So the only thing that I could have done wrong is like all in before my team got there. That's like something people do. They'll like double down and dive just because they hit their timing. I waited till my team was in position, let them get in position, force the fight, nice lasso onto the gyro, and it's easy from there. Rubik overextends, clean him up, Furion comes out of invis, he dies, so on and so on. And now we have our Heart of Tarask, and honestly the game gets really, really easy. I just have to run at the easiest kill target. I go onto Viper, I kill him in a second. Actually, not gonna lie, I took way more damage than I thought. The magic resist reduction is actually crazy. I don't know how this guy figured out which one was real to Viper strike me, but he did. And that actually killed my HP. I was shocked. Like, I don't know how he Viper strike the real one. I guess it's because I kind of messed up on the doppel or something. I'm not sure. But it actually annihilated me. The Viper strike damage with the what is this thing called? Ceremonial robe and poison attack damage. I actually should have manted way faster because it kind of owned me. But we had the heart going. All I had to do here was not doppel on the gyro. If I doppeled on the gyro there, I could have died. So I kind of made a mistake taking half damage. Because if I didn't take half damage from Viper, if I was a bit faster on my Manta and didn't get poison striked, I would have been full HP here and I could have killed the rest of them, including the Furion. So kind of sucked because the game would have literally ended right there. Like if I killed there, if I didn't make that one mistake, I would have just killed their whole team. Fortunately, it didn't matter. I'm still like, yeah. I'm still PL against the 0 PL counters, so just have to go to Roche, play the game safe, take the Roche, get the Aegis, right? Just play a safe map. And yeah, from there, I'm just going to look to Siege. Clean Siege, take the Tier 2. My team ended up fighting bottom here. I don't know, some stupid fight. But yeah, now we just have to play it safe. Just going to run down a lane at some point. I decided to clear mid here, only because I felt that my team wasn't going to do it. Turns out Bat was, so I didn't really have to do it, but it's okay. Slowing down the game here was fine. I was so close to level 25, which is obviously huge, right? The doppel cooldown. I could have even taken the crit damage this game. It's so good because they don't have disengage. I can just shred people, but I went for the doppel cooldown. It's good against the Viper in particular, but yeah, we got our heart, we got our Aegis. We're going to look to Siege. Don't want to overforce it, right? Still need to respect their damage. It's not like I'm completely invincible. I'm definitely not. But I wait for the Mjolnir shield to go down. I wait for the flak to be on cooldown. And we're going to go for it. You know, little melee racks. Sending out some Spirit Lances to poke them down. Probably didn't need to commit even this hard. Like, I went pretty hard here, but I make the discipline play once again. Just don't overcommit. Even here, I think my team probably goes in a little bit deep. I realistically didn't even need to go in. I think I felt pressure too because the lasso came out. I want to secure the kill. Worked out. We actually got the kill at the end of the day. Decent black hole into the Viper. I was a bit afraid once again to go in here. Probably, yeah, no, that was an overforce on the black hole. I was a bit low. He should have waited for me to heal up. So a bit of a bad play on his part, but it doesn't matter. You know, we just chill out now. Gonna cut the waves. A lot of people are like, how do you go high ground speed? I struggle with going high ground. Well, you got to know your strengths. You got to know your limits. If you can't do it, just don't do it. I knew this game I could poke it, right? As long as flak was down, I could poke it. I could, you know, go in, go out, heal up with the heart. And that's why I even bought heart. I felt that, okay, if I don't buy heart, it's going to be really hard to go high ground because they're going to chip me down. Even though it's a free PO game, they're still going to chip me down. So I go the heart so that I can force the high ground, right? I can siege it with the Aegis. And it kind of worked out. I think my team honestly made the bad play of jumping when the enemy team couldn't really stop me from doing what I was doing, if that makes sense. So I could have communicated to them better, but I don't know. My Enigma was on tilt. I didn't feel like talking to him. I'm not going to lie. So it is what it is. And yeah, that's going to be about all for today's video. The heart build pays off. Also, I love Bloodthorn so much on PL. It crits all of your illusions, and it gives you magic resist that's just such a high DPS item. It gives you 60 attack speed, which is really high, 50 damage, which is incredible, 25% magic resist, which is really, really high, as well as the Mage Slayer active, Orchid active. Like, Bloodthorn late game is such a clean item on PL. Obviously, I could have won Abyssal, which is good against these like ranged heroes who rely on BKB to do damage. I think Abyssal might have been better for that reason, but the Bloodthorn is way higher total DPS. Like, it's so high DPS and makes you so survivable with the magic resist. Like, all the magic damage problems I was having from Viper are just like so much less notable. I actually ran in here. I could have died. They had Sprout Leash, which is actually a hard counter to PL. But, ooh, the big black hole. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.